It is taken as an article of faith that the baptismal ordinance has not been corrupted in the modern church. After all, it was restored. It is still conducted by immersion in contrast to the Catholic and other Christian churches. All the right words are spoken. How could it be wrong? Unlike the sacrament, which has had many alterations to the ceremony by subtraction, the baptismal ordinance suffers from alterations to the ceremony by addition. Recall that according to Joseph Smith and Isaiah, there are to be no alterations to the ordinances. This includes both alterations by addition as well as subtraction. In today's church, both hard and soft requirements have been added to the ceremony. Priesthood officiants are now required to raise the right arm to the square. This ceremonial requirement is not found in the Scriptures, and the Church makes no claim to a clarifying revelation adding the requirement. The brethren simply added it with no supporting revelation from the Lord. Second, though not required in every case, when possible, the priesthood officiant and the baptismal candidate are required to wear white. Again, this requirement is not to be found in the Scriptures. It has simply been added to the manuals and handbooks. Other changes by addition include the requirement for 2 priesthood holders as witnesses. This requirement is only found in the Scriptures concerning baptisms for the dead, and is not found for baptisms of the living. One must remember that when Jesus was baptized, there were no other priesthood holders that could witness the event in the mortal flesh. Nor were there witnesses for other baptisms, such as when Philip baptized the eunuch, or when Joseph Smith baptized Oliver Cowdery, and vice versa. Additionally, members are now required to witness to the bishop that they have repented, and not to the church as originally required. A careful reading of the Doctrine and Covenants shows that the Lord uses the term church not to represent the leadership, but rather to represent the membership. Additionally, baptismal candidates are required in Section 20 to show that they have been forgiven of their sins prior to being baptized, another requirement that has been dropped. And lastly, those who have remarried after divorce are no longer precluded from baptism, as the Lord required in those cases where they left their spouses to marry another and their former spouse still lives. The Church has adulterated the baptismal ordinance in numerous ways, as prophesied by Isaiah. Unauthorized ceremonial changes of addition have been introduced. Witnesses are demanded in the absence of any revelatory requirements. Prerequisites are ignored to include having received the remission of sins prior to baptism. And certain candidates who the Lord has expressly forbidden from being baptized are regularly baptized in today's church. Isaiah's prophecy accusing the modern church of changing the ordinance includes the ordinance of baptism.